Hey guys, this is Boston Bruce here with an introduction to a new game from HBG that I'm going to be playing. And what it is here is Barbarossa. And this is the basic setup of the game. And I'm going to go over some of the rules and some of what's different from Global War 36, which is my first love. But anyway, I'm going to get into explaining a little bit about the game and how it starts out. Uh, let's start up here in the north. Well, let's do with the basics of the game. And this is the game map itself. You'll see these black dice I have laid out. Those are what they use. I'll be using those for my supplies. So basically what you're looking at there, them four large dice, a 5, 5, 5, and a 6 is 21 supplies. And supplies are a key part in this game as far as moving the units about. But like I said, I'm going to do some short videos on how the game runs a little bit, and eventually I'll be playing a game. And this is the game map in the setup. You see how the Russians are set up here, up towards Leningrad. You have the Finnish troops up here. Then you have the border of Poland and Russia, with massive buildup between the Germans and the Soviets. Soviets not quite as much, but good size. Then you have the Hungarians in the red here I'm using. You get some Italian troops and some Spanish troops that'll come into the game. You get some Bulgarians. And we've got the Romanians. And there's different facets of how the game works and the units. A lot of similar units, but the attack, defend, moving, it's all a little different in this game. The big key on this game is the logistics of the game, where Russian units can be put at different places, cities, factories. They got some reinforcement areas over here for Siberian reinforcements. But as far as German units, they always go over here, back here on the back lines. So they have to be moved, and to move them, you need supplies. So it's going to make for an interesting game, I think. I've watched a little bit of Captain G and Flack's review, recaps on turns, and we found it very interesting. I've talked to Chris Panzer J. He's the one that turned me on to it. So basically, like I said, this is the map setup, and the turn sequence kind of works a little different. The big thing in it, in this game, is the combat initiative, which who gets to go first. And in this game, the Germans go first the first 2 turns. There's no combat initiative roll. After that, rolls are done to see who goes first. And when the Russians go first, I'll have to double check, but I think when the Russians go first, the Axis miners and the Germans move separately. But don't quote me on that. And then a unit thing that I really like is this optional weather, but I would always use this, where you roll a d12 in the different months, you get different kinds of weather. And the big differences in rain and snow, there's a lot of stuff you can't do compared to the good weather that you're going to roll in May and June. May and June, unless you roll a 12, that's going to be good weather. Then July and August, it's 11, 12. So as you can see, when you get into the winter months and the spring, that's when you can run into trouble. And that lowers movement of units quite a bit. But here's a look at the turn sequence in this game. You roll for your combat sequence to see who goes first, then your weather, then your purchase and build, then your combat move. And the thing is, section 1 there with the asterisk, both teams do combat sequence one after another. So 3 to 6, both teams get to do before we get into the non-combat movement after. So what else we got here? And as I said, the combat sequence, 3 through 6 are completed by both sides before the side with combat initiative advances to sequence 7 through 10, which is your non-combat sequence. one nice thing in this game. There's a few different units that we don't have in ours. But the big thing with this game is its victory conditions, is to get points. Now, in this game, if Germany takes Moscow by turn 12 and holds it for one turn, they win the game. Germany takes Baku, which is way over here, and holds it for one turn before the end of turn 12. That's the end of the game also. Or if Germany has 28 victory points at the end of turn 18. That's how they wind up winning. Otherwise, it's a Soviet win. Now, as you can see, there's different places. It's unlike Global War 36, where you're picking up territory and getting extra money. It don't work that way. In this game, after the stuff I just read, I mean, it's limited on rules. There's not a ton of rules like in the other game. But anyway, now we get to the politics of the warfare. And Germany gets 48 build points, and that's all they get. It never goes up. They do get a lot of extra units if for some reason the Soviets decide to attack into Romania. Romania is unlocked. Now they can move these guys that are on the board, but if for some reason the Soviets take Romanian territory, or the Axis get up to 20 points, then Romania gets to drop down 12 infantry, 6 artillery, 4 armor, 3 fighters, 2 tacticals, 8 supplies, and a train, which is huge. Pick up 3 more points, and now Bulgaria is unlocked, and you're picking up 9 more infantry, 1 tactical, 5 artillery, 6 supplies, 3 fighters, and a train. Same deal, 23 points. Or if Romania is attacked or loses the territory. Now this goes on for, Finland has a similar type thing. I'm not going to read it right now, but that's some of the stuff that goes on. As the Axis get bigger, they'll get more units. But it's not that easy to get all those points, I think. I'm sure this game's kind of balanced. I don't know. I haven't played that yet, but you know, all this territory in the front line here is absolutely not worth anything. They have to get into the cities. And I mean, some of them ain't worth a lot. It's only 3 points for that city up there. You got 3 points here for Kiev. Crimea is only worth 1, you know. So it takes a while. They got to make a push. This is a big area, I guess, if they get down here by turn 12. So anyway, that's a short video on the beginning of how this game works, and I'll get into the section 2 of the rules a little more in the next one. Boston Bruce, I don't know.